Out of Libya. Also here, top of the hour, this earthquake, it has now been downgraded just a smidge. It's now officially a 5.8 magnitude earthquake according to the USGS. Quick update for you. We're hearing from, in terms of airports, New York, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C. That is all clear. Some of those air traffic controllers were evacuated out of their towers. They're back. They're up and running as well. Also, the North Anna power plant, just about 10 miles down the road from the epicenter of this quake in Mineral, Virginia. They are now up on backup power. They have these 4 generators trying to keep those spent fuel rods cool, so we're watching that closely. Also, we have some video from Washington, D.C. As you know, we have a bureau there. We have correspondents and producers, and I wanted to show you this video. This is from actually our CNN and Espanol correspondent and his crew. They're apparently outside about to do an interview within the CNN studios when the earthquake struck. Take a look here as the camera just so happened to be rolling.
I thought you were joking, Juan.
Juan Carlos Lopez there. Here we play it again. Standing there, our correspondent, you hear the shaking? And, you know, a number of you, I know, are still feeling aftershocks. Want to bring in Chad Myers, and just a quick reminder, we're waiting for the president to speak, and we're also waiting to hear from Michael Bloomberg, mayor of New York City. We'll bring those to you live. But, Chad, what do you make of that video there? You see the shaking there in Washington, D.C., some 80 miles from the epicenter of this thing?
That was a big shake for D.C. Yeah, and they said there may even be some loose things outside on some of the cathedrals and some of the monuments. You may not want to be right next to those things, next to those buildings, if you are standing outside, because who knows what could fall off the top, even if it's just somebody who set their lunch on the windowsill. It may be coming down if you get another shake. So here you go. Let me tell you what happened today. A very large piece of the crust shook. It's because we don't have a lot of cracks in the crust here on the East Coast. So you get a very large piece of the East Coast all the way from New York City all the way down to even to Atlanta, Georgia felt it, because it's literally almost one big piece. It doesn't have a bunch of cracks in it like California. If California shakes, well, then only that little bit shakes, and then the rest kind of stays in the same place. Well, the entire East Coast shook because it is literally one big piece. And here's what it looked like on the seismogram recorded at Virginia. This is at NIU. The whole area here, I want to tell you how some people were saying this, Brooke, and I'll get to that in a second, that they felt 2 separate shakes. The first shake is almost like if you would run into the back of a train and that back boxcar would get shoved forward. Boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden, that's the first shake you feel as the boxcar from behind you hitting you from behind. And then the rest, or the wave, that's the P and then the S. And the S literally looks like an S, and that's the shake or the wave that can really tear things apart. You put a building right there in that wave, and all of a sudden it's doing this and this and this. That's when you start to break things apart. So that might have been the 2 shakes that people did feel. Not one aftershock after the first quake. It was the P wave, first of all, and then the secondary wave.
Chad, let me just jump in and ask you, because I know a lot of people are wondering, historically speaking, and I know those of you on the West Coast are saying, oh, this is nothing, but it is a little something for us out east.
Well, because our houses and our buildings are not built to your standards in California. I mean, you can't build a house on a foundation with concrete and just a bunch of cinder blocks and hope that's going to stand up there. In California, you have to have some type of insulation from the ground. And so our building codes don't tell you to withstand a 7.0 or a 6.0. So the biggest quake that I could find was actually out of Charleston. It was in the 7s, mid-7s, a long, long time ago. The biggest one in Virginia was actually a 5.8, and this ties it. But that was 100 years ago.
Chad, thank you so much. And we've been talking a lot, you know, about the epicenter of this quake. That is Mineral, Virginia. And we know, I was talking to someone from in and around that area. They said that they had felt multiple aftershocks thus far. That could continue for days, possibly weeks, according to a civil and environmental engineer I spoke with just a moment ago. But we're now learning a woman from Mineral. She has just called in. We'll talk with her next. Plus,